Hello and welcome to Cup of Tea Reviews. My name is Tim and I'm joined as always by Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me.
Tim, we watch movies to be entertained, but so many of them are duds.
We watch the movies that can go either way, good or bad, and we let you know if they're worth your while.
We waste our time so that you don't have to.
That's right, Michael, and today's movie is The Outsiders. It is a 1983 coming-of-age film directed by Francis Ford Coppola and starring a who's who of young 80s actors. Michael, please give us your hot take.
Tim, this movie was not my cup of tea. It's a quintessential film, so in a sense I feel bad giving it that review, but the theatrical version that we saw just had a lot of missing pieces. I really struggled through it. In the end, it just wasn't that good of a movie. What about you?
I wanted to like this. I think the filmmaking is great. I think the actors are really good. But at the end of the day, this is a film that doesn't feel complete, and it feels like a 3-hour movie when it's only 90 minutes.
So Tim, what's it about?
Set in a 1960s town divided along social lines between the greasers and the socias, the film follows a young greaser as he forges his own identity amongst the violence and conflict surrounding him. Michael, where do you want to start with this one?
Let's start with some of the challenges we had, Tim, and we'll kind of weave them together because there's a couple things that are all interconnected. First, I want to start with the fact that this is based on a book. It's a quintessential book. Most folks read it in middle school, and the film feels like it is very heavily based on that book. It feels literary in the way that it is shot and told. And I don't think that's helpful. Because this is a book that has a lot of internal dialogue going on inside our characters' heads, it's a hard movie to kind of shot for shot the book. And that's what it kind of felt like they were doing. There was a lot of scenes that were paced in the way they would be in a novel, which is great for a novel, but sometimes it's just not great for a movie. And that was a tripwire for me here.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like there's focus on the wrong things at times. There's like a 30-minute segment in the middle of the movie in which the two main characters are hiding out in an old abandoned church. Now, I'm sure that this plays really well in the book, but when you watch it literally adapted into the movie, you're not getting much out of it. I mean, you don't get a lot of character development or theme or story happening while they're stuck in this barn, and that's a huge chunk of the movie in which we're not getting anything out of it. Now, the movie is structured quite like the book, which I think is an interesting adaptational choice, but I don't think it serves the movie. Books and movies are very, very different, and they require different things in the way in which they tell their stories. Another issue I have is the fact that all these side characters played by extremely famous actors, they don't get to do too much. They're kind of just window dressing.
Yeah, 100%. You got actors like Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe. I mean, huge names. And the movies kind of build that way. Like, oh my gosh, like look at these huge actors who are getting off the ground. They don't do anything. Like they said window dressing. I mean, these are folks who are literally just in the background. They're not doing very much. But this then leads into another major challenge we have with the film, which is there is a theatrical cut and there's an extended edition. And the story that we understand it is that the theatrical cut came out because it was what the studio and the director agreed to. And then Francis Ford Coppola started getting like all these letters from middle schoolers who were reading the book saying, hey, you left out all these scenes. And he's like, don't worry, we like shot all those. We have them. I'll just create like an extended version that I'll release. And he did that. And the extended version sounds much better. It sounds like it solves for a lot of the problems that we're talking through. We know Rob Lowe gets more scenes in that. It does stitch together some of the literary elements that we were tripping over in a better way. Again, haven't not seen that movie, but it's something that it feels like could have solved for a lot of this. So that's something that was disappointing that we only saw the theatrical cut.
Yeah, we definitely watched the wrong version. But Michael, in this version we saw, there's some good stuff. What did you like about the film?
I mean, it's tons of famous actors starting their career. This is a really fun movie to be like, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. Oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. Like, hey, it's young Tom Cruise, young Rob Lowe. Like, that's really fun to be able to point fingers and say, hey, I see these people. And they're giving good performances, which is fun too.
I think the actors are great across the board, and especially the lead, C. Thomas Howell, who plays Ponyboy. I think he's great. This is also just a really famous coming-of-age story, and I think there's a lot of value in that. And I think that even though the themes don't always come across, I think there's a lot that you can get out of this movie if you do check it out. Michael, when should somebody watch the film?
Tim, I would recommend this, and most people have probably already seen it because they watched it in middle school, but I would recommend the movie. I would recommend the extended version over the theatrical one. Again, I haven't seen the extended version, but I think it will solve for a lot of the things that we are feeling are problems with the film. So I would check this one out. I would just watch the extended version and not the theatrical one. What about you?
It's hard for me to recommend a movie I haven't seen, but based on the filmmaking in here and the storytelling and the actors, I would recommend watching the extended cut. Now, I can't guarantee that it's going to be, a masterpiece, but I think that from what I've heard, it's going to be better than this version. I would not recommend the theatrical cut. I would recommend the extended version. So check that out when you get a chance. Thank you all for watching.
Join us next time on Cup of Tea Reviews.